Before my gyprock comes, I've got 5 internal hinged doors and their frames to fit. I begin by assembling the door jamb around the door on a flat surface, using the door itself to make sure everything's square and flat and that I've got the exact right clearances for the door around the jamb. I nail and glue it together and leave it overnight to really lock up. The door jambs and doors from my kit home supplier come already fitted with hinges routed and screwed in place. So all I have to do is knock in the hinge pin and everything's lined up. Even if you've got a lot of knowledge and experience in building and renovating houses, there's a couple of things that make doing the whole thing of building your own home from start to finish difficult. One of those is the conflicting advice you get. This can come from the net, it can come from books, it can come from tradies, it can come from anybody that comes across your job. And you get conflicting ideas being told to you about the way you're supposed to be doing things. It's not easy to sort all that out. Obviously you've just got to take your best educated guess and go with the method at the particular task you're doing and be hopeful that it's right. But there's no guarantees it's going to be. I reckon the easiest way to build your own home is to do something like I've done and use a kit home. And I'm not having a go at anybody, but one of the problems you'll face is that because project home companies have to produce lots of the same sort of houses to make their money, most of those houses are not going to go to people like you and me who actually want to build it themselves. Most of them, clients are going to come in, pick the house and go, yes, we'll have that one, even make their own design changes, and then builders will come and put that house together that's supplied by the kit home manufacturer. And so because builders are going to construct most project homes, the suppliers of those project homes don't have people who build their own homes like me in their focus, and so you end up with information gaps. The suppliers of project homes aren't going to be aware of all the tiny details that they need to tell you because you're not a professional builder. One issue that I only found out just in time and by accident today was that my ceiling battens are not spaced at the correct distance. According to the booklet supplied by the kit home manufacturer from the manufacturer of the drywall, the battens are supposed to be at 60 centimetre centres, which is what I've done. And when the young guys came in with the sheeting, they said, wait a minute, you haven't been supplied with ceiling sheeting and wall sheeting. All your sheeting is wall sheeting, and for wall sheeting to be used on the ceiling, you've got to have the battens at 45 centimetres, not 60. So after a whole pile of phone calls backwards and forwards, what I've worked out I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put in extra battens in between all of these, which will end up with battens at 30 centimetre centres. Now, if that young guy on the truck hadn't pointed that out to me today, I would have hung these wall sheets up as a ceiling at 60 centimetre centres, and he told me the sheets would have bowed because of the weight of them. So I was very lucky that I picked that up. I could have easily hung these whole ceilings all through this house, thought I was doing the right thing, done all that work, and without knowing it made a mistake. So you be as careful as you can when you're building your own house, but sometimes muck-ups are going to happen. I'm just so glad we caught that one in time. Thanks, guys. It's the day after my gyprock delivery, and I'm left with 3.7 tonnes of gyprock and Villaboard to put into the house. Where do I start? Well, there's a couple of ways I could go about this. Normally, I think what you'd do is you would do your ceilings first and then your walls. That's what the tradies tell me. And then you would probably work your way through a room at a time, finishing each room. Typical me, I'm not going to do that. There is no real difference that I can find talking to tradies about fitting your walls or your ceiling sheeting first. I haven't, thankfully, heard of anybody going into a house and looking at the gyprock and going, oh geez, look at that. They put the wall sheets up before they put the ceiling sheets up. That might matter as far as tightness of fit in the top corner goes if you're not fitting cornices or crown mouldings, as you call them in the States. But crown mouldings have been standard in Australia ever since houses have been built here. So that's not an issue. So I'm going to do things the best way that suits me, and the best way for me, g'day Soph, these sheets are of 3 different types and have been cut to lengths to minimise wastage. So given how they're stacked, the most sensible method for me, I believe, is to just take each sheet and put it where it goes. And thankfully I've been supplied by my project home kit home company with a map showing where all the sheets go, walls and ceilings, their lengths and types. So what this will allow me to do is just take that top sheet, have a look at this diagram and see where it goes, and go and put it there. And then the next sheet might be in another room, so off I'll go and do that. So it's going to be going backwards and forwards all over the place. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the ceilings to last, because if I get rid of most of this sheeting, it's going to be a lot easier for me to get up and put those extra battens in. So I'm not even thinking about ceilings yet, and that's why I'm going to do the walls first. So here we go. Before I start, I'll remind you again that I am not a professional gyprocker. I'm just a self-taught home handyman trying to pass on the best of the information that I've learned along the way. Because this bathroom is obviously a wet area, before I start fitting the sheets, I've got to fit this PVC 90-degree channel right around the floor. The sheets go over the top of this, and it stops any water that's spilled in the bathroom being able to go out to another room. put that plastic angle flashing in that the sheets will go on top of. You can see how when the floor is put in and the waterproofing put on it, this will become, the whole floor will become a waterproof tray that will hold the water and force it to go down the floor drain. I put a piece of angle in the corner because the bath will be near there, and I'm also required under Australian building regulations to put a piece right up the shower, so the sheets will go on top of that, then the waterproofing, and then the tile, so there's no way water is going out through that joint. I'm ready to start sheeting this room. Another trick for easy fitting is to mark the position of your wall studs. That way you can find them really easily with the screws. No guesswork. With all your wall sheeting, whether it's gyprock or Villaboard or Aquacheck, whatever sort it is, you mustn't put the bottom of the sheet flush on the floor. I've spoken to the manufacturers and confirmed that you need 6 to 10 mil off the bottom. One guy I spoke to said he believed the reason that you did this was so that if you had a flood or your carpets got wet, the water wouldn't wick up through the sheeting. But that's not quite correct, although it might be an advantage. The manufacturers say that if you put the sheets directly on the floor of the house, if the house settles at all, it will crack all your joints in the sheeting. So make sure you put the bottom of the sheet 6 to 10 mil off the bottom of the floor. I've also been told by the sheet manufacturer that you don't use glue on Villaboard or this sheeting designed to have tiles go over it. You only use screws. The reason is that if you use screws and the glue can form bunches and stop the screws fully penetrating and make your surface of your sheet uneven. Plasterboard apparently is more forgiving in that regard. So with your hard waterproof sheeting, screws only. Well, that's the first sheet up. Many more to go. See you as we do some more on the house in the next episode. Thanks for watching.